Little bit of a late upload here, but it's my show. I'm gonna do things the way that I want, and I was out all day, so I wasn't able to make this video as quickly as possible, but I feel like a little late-night commentary isn't a bad thing. It's 12:10 a.m. in the morning as I'm recording this audio, coming off the heels of a night where the Vancouver Canucks were officially eliminated from the Stanley Cup Playoffs. And this game that caused Vancouver to get eliminated was one for the ages. It was Minnesota versus San Jose. And a lot of the buzz around Vancouver this afternoon, heading into that game, was, hey, if the Minnesota Wild win, that's it. The Vancouver Canucks playoff odds are done. They will not be able to catch St. Louis in the standings. They'll not be able to catch the Wild in the standings because St. Louis lost today in regulation, but it doesn't matter. They're already out of reach for Vancouver. Vancouver, if they win all their remaining games, the best they can do is tie Minnesota and St. Louis at this point, and both of those teams would have the tiebreaker over Vancouver. However, the game which sealed the deal, this Wild and Sharks game today, there was a narrative buzzing around in Vancouver, folks saying, hey, Macklin Celebrini, this is the most important game of the season for you because you have a chance to extend your hometown Vancouver Canucks team's playoff odds. And unfortunately, that did not end up happening. Honestly, I know Macklin Celebrini is from Vancouver. He is from the area like Connor Bedard is, but unlike Connor Bedard, Celebrini did not actually grow up in the Vancouver area. He spent a good chunk of his childhood in the San Francisco, San Jose area. So, of course, his dad worked for the Golden State Warriors, and he was around that team growing up, and he was playing for the San Jose Junior Sharks as a younger guy. So, I get it, Macklin Celebrini is a Vancouver kid, but he spent a good chunk of his childhood elsewhere, so I don't know if the hometown tie that people were going out there and saying, hey, Macklin, you want to help out your hometown team? I don't really know if that was as big of a narrative as it really could have been, but Macklin Celebrini, he did all he could in this game against the Wild. Macklin Celebrini, in this game, scored 3 goals, a hat trick, and 2 assists for 5 total points. But it wasn't enough because the Minnesota Wild beat San Jose 8-7 in overtime, getting the 2 points they needed to pull themselves out of reach from the Vancouver Canucks and to eliminate the Canucks. Of course, it had to end like this. Now, don't worry, this is not going to be a Minnesota versus San Jose post-game analysis. We're not going to do that here, but just reading off of some of the numbers. Will Smith had 4 points, Celebrini had 5 points, Kaprizov came back, he had 3 points, Eric Sennecke had 4 goals, Matt Boldy had 4 assists. I, personally, have Celebrini, Kaprizov, and Boldy on a whole bunch of my fantasy teams. So this game was a shot of adrenaline because I was losing most of my finals matchups and ended up getting a sizable lead because of the contents of these games here. So for me personally, I was kind of a happy camper, just walking away, seeing all the points get scored here. But ultimately, despite the fact that I was walking away happy with Kirill Kaprizov and all these guys getting the points, the fact that the Vancouver Canucks officially got eliminated was kinda sad. Okay, is it really sad? Yeah, no, we can say it's sad. Surprising? No. Sad? Yes. And I think it all boils down to just the extended nature of how Canucks fans were grabbed onto this year. We were like fish swimming around in the ocean, biting onto the bait that was last year. We saw the team make the second round of the playoffs. We saw the team be 1 game away from winning and making it to the third round. But they lost out on Thatcher Demko, and they lost out on Brock Besser. And the Vancouver Canucks getting eliminated in the second round of last year's playoffs gave this fan base hope that the team could do it all again next year. that they would have an opportunity to show up and maybe lead the division again and be a favorite heading into the Stanley Cup Playoffs in 2025. But I think from the very first game of the season, we noticed that something was off. When the Vancouver Canucks blew one of the worst leads they have had all year against the Calgary Flames in Game 1 of the regular season. When they lost 6-5 in overtime after having the lead heading into the third. They were up 4-1 at one point. The fact that they lost that game was crazy, because last year, the Vancouver Canucks had such a long run. They went like half the season without losing a game when they led at the start of the third. And then in 2024-2025, they blow a 4-1 lead in the first game of the year? I think that game kind of set the tone. And as things continued with the team not having chemistry and Pettersson not playing to his standard and Miller kind of falling off too, and then the reported rift between the two started to really get at this fan base in Vancouver, that was one of the many issues. And with all these things starting to compile in on itself, I think Canucks fans just started to realize, oh, maybe this isn't our year after all. Nobody's staying healthy. Quinn Hughes is dominating these games. Kevin Lankinen is dominating these games, but where is Brock Besser? Where is Pettersson? Where is JT Miller? And then Miller got benched, and then Miller took a leave of absence, and then Miller came back, and then everybody was talking about the rift, and then Miller and Pettersson both denied the rift, and then Rutherford and Quinn Hughes said that the rift was there, and it was so mixed in terms of what we were hearing from various pieces within the organization, and we were like, okay, this is a total crap show. It made for some entertaining content. Like, we were making videos left, right, and center about all the stuff going on, and y'all ate it up. I know the criticism, guys. Oh, Lego, you clickbait the hell out of these videos, man. You're just going out there and talking about stuff for views and money, and yeah, that's quite literally my job. And the reason why I do it is because I know it works. The fact is, y'all click on this stuff. Y'all want to see the newest drama and everything that goes on. And that's why it was such a crap show this year. Of course, I'm not saying that me making YouTube videos is responsible for the Canucks' performance on the ice, but all the crap that happened this year was. And so to see the team go through all these ups and downs and hoops and hurdles, to not muster up any sort of a meaningful win streak in the 24-25 season, to blow all these leads in the third period, to not have a single comeback third period victory till like the last quarter of the year, to go through all of that and to still be as close to the playoffs as they were, it's kind of like, okay, I mean, wow. This Western Conference was pretty whack. If the Vancouver Canucks survived this long, then imagine what they could have done if they just had a 40-goal scorer. Imagine what they could have done if Brock Besser just went out there and scored 40, or Pettersson was a 90-point caliber guy. Imagine where they could have been. But I think at this point, all you got to do is wait for next year. I mean, quite literally, you have only that option since they're not making the playoffs this year. Surprising? Again, it's not surprising. 1% odds to make the playoffs. It was never going to happen. Thank you, Minnesota, and thank you, San Jose. But to see the Vancouver Canucks cap off what was a very frustrating season with a down-to-the-wire-like playoff appearance that did not manifest because of a game that happened on April 9th, to see them survive this long, in and of itself was kind of miraculous. So I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Vancouver Canucks missing out on the playoffs. It's all over. We're going to upload this video at 1 a.m. in the morning because why not? Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Zayne, and bye.